So welcome guys to the Rishu Garg Astrology channel, and today we'll be discussing about the 8th house in astrology. We had some of those of you who have already been following me, they must be aware of the fact that we had already covered in the 8th house astrology part 1, and so in this episode we'll be resuming from where we left in that part 1 of 8th house astrology. So let's get started without wasting any time. And for those of you who are watching this as my new channel, I like to reiterate that Vedic theory for you. Again, that becomes of extreme importance when it comes to deciphering what the houses in astrology are all about. And that Vedic theory states that if we take any house into consideration and count 12 places from that house, if we take any house into consideration and count 12 places from that house, then the house that we reach to represents the qualities or the attributes that are totally different or in non-compliance to the house from which we begin the counting. Or you can say is that the house that we reach to represents the qualities and the attributes that are totally in non-compliance to the house that we took into consideration. So here, for studying the 8th house, as we did in the previous video, we'll do it here itself again. We'll start counting from the 9th house, and the 9th house is the one from which we'll be beginning the counting, and this is the house we are taking into consideration in order to study the 9th, in order to study the 8th house in Vedic astrology. So let's count 12 places from the 9th house and see where do we get to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We reach the 8th house. So when we apply that Vedic theory principle over here, it says that 8th house is not equal to the 9th house. That is, 9th house is not equal to the 8th house. Say you say it either way, doesn't make any difference. So guys, we had already covered 3 points of comparison between the 8th house and the 9th house. So we'll be taking the 4th point of comparison, and the 4th point says that 9th house in astrology, if you must be aware of, is the house of religious pursuits. It's the house of seeking the religious realms. 9th house people are the people who lead the celibate lives. Some of these people lead the celibate lives. At least I have seen in my personal life that it's the 9th house or the 12th house people that these are the ones who lead the celibate lives. And even if they don't lead the celibate lives, these 9th house people are very devoted to their religion and philosophy. They are kind of very determined, staunch and resolute when it comes to sticking to what they believe in, adhering to whatever principles their religion propagates. They just obey those principles or follow those philosophies like anything. You cannot deter them from their faith in God or their faith in any kind of a philosophy or philosophical figure. Unlike the 9th house of religious pursuits, the 8th house is the house of material pursuits, because it's the house of sex, and sex is kind of a material desire. And plus, 8th house is also called the house of the material desires, because 8th house is exactly opposite the 2nd house. And 2nd house in our Vedic astrology represent our bank balance, our bank account, the wealth we have with us saved in a bank account. So 8th house instead represent the wealth that we have made in partnerships, that we have made, that the 8th house represents the wealth that we have made in business partnerships, or that we have made in a partnership of marriage. That is, 8th house could represent the wealth that may have come to us from the in-laws in the form of the dowry. I should not say the dowry, but it could even be the fact that your wife, that you married a girl and suddenly yours was a rags to riches story, because while you were good in marketing, your wife must have been very good in finance. So both of you thought that if we both leverage on each other's strengths and club in each other's energy, then we would become a lethal combination in that professional sphere, in that marketing arena, and we would be insurmountable and invincible for any company. And likewise, with the joint efforts of you and your wife, your shared assets grew like anything, and you became a formidable force. Yours became a top MNC, and yours was rags to riches story, or it could be the other way around, that you were a billionaire or a millionaire before marriage, or you were well off with money before marriage, but suddenly you married someone who was reckless with money, who assisted you, yet took the wrong decisions. She didn't have the discretionary and the prudency levels, and yours became a riches to rags story instead. So basically it has to do with the wealth thing. So that's why it is also called the house of the material desires. Then 8th house also represents the money that we make from mortgage. That is when you are giving your money on lease, or it could represent you are taking money from somebody on lease and thereafter making money thereafter multiplying your sources from the money that you have taken on lease, and 5 years down the line, when you have when you have set up your own empire, you may reimburse that money that you took on lease 5 years earlier. So it's the house, 8th house is the house of material desires. What else? Well, the other comparison between the 9th house and the 8th house could be 9th house has the original energy of the Sagittarius sign, and so these people are these people are kind of not limited to one people. Since the 9th house is a house that is constantly on the move. It is the house of long distance travels. So 9th house represents the people who do not limit themselves to a single person. What their notion is, what their belief system is, that every person they bump into, every new person they come across is a gateway to expand their own horizons, is a gateway to expand their own knowledge. So they feel that if if they come across one person who would teach them the wisdom or give them the spiritual lessons or the religious lessons on life, then the other person who they come across would give them the would teach them the scientific theories on physics, biology, or chemistry. So these are the people who do not limit themselves to one person, and that is why this 9th house is called the house of higher learning. Whenever we go to a university for seeking that post-graduation degree, do we limit ourselves to only one teacher, that we will study only this subject? Even if we are an MBA student, then we would try to seek knowledge of the HR domain, of the marketing domain, of the finance domain. We would not be friends with only a single person, but we would be friends with 10. We would work in groups so that we have something valuable to pick up from the other person, or from the different people. We have something or the other to learn from each and every individual we come across. Instead, the 8th house has the original energy of Scorpio. So these people are very possessive. These people are very obsessive about what they want in life, about who they want to interact with. So either they won't interact with anybody, or if they interact with anybody, they are like that. They want the integration of heart, mind, body, soul, etc. They want to just, had it been practically possible, these 8th house people, when they are in love, they would even accompany their fiance or their love partners to the toilets. Yes, you might be finding it quite funny or eccentric or bizarre, but that's true. These people, these 8th house people, like, still it has the energy of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. But here Mars, instead of using the weapon sword, is kind of secretly scheming. So these 8th house people, when they fall in love, when they are obsessed about something, or when they may be obsessed about some teacher, they would want them to be the favorite of the teacher, and they would want that this teacher should be giving knowledge to only me and not to any other person. And when they are in love, these people are very possessive of the fact that their loved one should just integrate into their body. The two souls shall become one. The two bodies shall become one. Such is a very chaotic, and that's a very chaotic kind of energy. And their notion is like that. They actually feel that a part of their body lies in that other person. So they can either take the life of the other individuals, they can even go to the extent of taking the life of the person they love if that person is leaving them for even a reasonable reason. If the person they love is leaving them for some reason or the other, they may even try to kill that person. And likely they if they love somebody, and the person they love or they are obsessed about loves them too, then they would fight the whole world to get that person to get that person to get that person married to them, or to get along with that person. They can fight him with the whole world. So this is a kind of a very besotted kind of a love, very obsessed and possessive kind of a energy that is present in the 8th house, unlike the 9th house, wherein we are regularly on the move. So guys, we have finally completed with the first point with regards to the 8th house astrology episode. And guys, now moving on to the second point in the 8th house astrology part 2 episode. It says mistake made by the Vedic astrologers regarding the 8th house. Oh yes, this is the point that is my favorite, wherein I kind of give examples in order to validate that why do I take up this point. So most of the astrologers, and even I, in the 8th house astrology part 1 episode, as well as in the earlier part of the 8th house astrology part 2 episode, I told you that this is a kind of a very chaotic, very house full of upheavals, ups and downs, kind of a very drastic changes are seen in the 8th house, which is kind of difficult to deal with. But we forget the fact that that at the time the Vedic texts were written, the scenario was very different from what it is now. So now this becomes a very important house for the business tycoons, especially those people who are into the oil industry, who are into the mining industry, who are into the extraction of metals or oils from beneath the earth. These business tycoons are seen from the 8th house. So if the lord of the 8th house is beautifully placed, or 8th house is or 8th house is enjoying the benefit aspect of Jupiter. Let's suppose if the 8th house lord is placed in the 10th house or the 11th house or any of the Kendra houses, or even in the 5th house, if it's placed in the 5th house, then we can see somebody who is into the oil industry, mining industry, chemical industry, somebody who is making or working with the explosive materials, somebody who is manufacturing the warfare artillery or those missiles and weapons. So this house becomes a very powerful house in the horoscopes of all these persons who are engaged in the professions like I told you just now. Moreover, 8th house. Moreover, it's very difficult for that single individual to become a business tycoon, or to just work for 10 years and reach up there in the ladder among the top 10 people in the world. This can only happen when there are sudden changes in the life. So while it has a downside to it, 8th house, it has the upside to it that most of the people who are wealthy in this world, you will notice the fact that they have some kind of a prominent 8th house thing in their horoscope. And you want an example of it? Amitabh Bachchan has most of his planets in the 8th house, and you must be aware of the fact that he became bankrupt 2 or 3 times in his life, and now he's among the richest people in the Bollywood industry. Earlier, when he came into the film industry, he was just called that what would this tall lanky creature would do. We don't want to watch him, and he doesn't look good on screen. There were rumors or things like that. But now this is the man we look up to when it comes to performing any role with that kind of a finesse and class as he does. And he is not even limited to Bollywood today. He is exceedingly praised and is exceedingly popular among the Hollywood celebrities as well. So this is the energy. So although the downside of it, the upside of it is that it can make you a business tycoon, or while it can throw you into the gutter, it can also pull you out into the gutter and throw you up into the sky where you can shine like a star. So this is the positive side of the 8th house. And guys, one more thing related to the 8th house is that although these people who have a prominent 8th house, they go through lots of ups and downs in their life. But you know what happens with these people is that after a while, when they have got acclimatized, or when they have got used to this ups and downs of life, they are like that. This ups and down is like kind of has become a constant thing in my life. So what their notion is like that, the moment the things become constant, they are fearful at that times. They have become so acclimatized to these upheavals and drastic changes that for them these drastic changes and upheavals are a very normal thing in life. So these people at some point or the other in their life, these people become of the sort that come what may, I am not afraid of any of the upheavals. If I am rich today, tomorrow even if I am thrown on the streets, then I know that I can come out of that shit. So these people at some point or the other in their life turn out to be the motivational gurus. They turn out to be the spiritual masters. They turn out to be the motivational gurus, spiritual masters, Reiki healers, astrologers, any of the spiritual gurus, life coaches. These become so inspirational people that they help the people. That if somebody comes up to them and says that he is going through such and such upheaval in his life, they are like that, dude, don't worry, this is a part of life. I have gone through the similar phase, and I have gone through much more drastic changes than that you are accompanying. Am I not healthy and wealthy now? So things will settle down at your ends too. Just have the patience, just maintain the tranquility of mind, because you might perceive those sudden upheavals as something that is very chaotic now. But these upheavals could make you a star one day, could make you shine like a star one day. This is what they tell to the other people. So guys, this was it in the 8th house astrology episode part 2. And if you want to see me again, please do subscribe to my channel. And I would be coming up with the 8th house astrology part 3, which is going to be a very shorter one, in which I'll be discussing the professions and the careers that we can see from the 8th house in astrology. So till then, bye, good luck, stay healthy and wealthy, take care, love you.